Welcome back to the Joust About Careers podcast. This episode features the highlights of the conversation with 2013 Van Buren graduate Heather Ritson, a Behavior Services Coordinator 2 at the Medical University of South Carolina. The highlights focus on the fact that there is not a typical day for Heather, how important experiences have been throughout her career journey, why it's better to waste 3 credit hours than 4 years, and much more. If you want to learn more about Heather's career journey, you can always watch or listen to her full interview. And if you find this podcast useful, please share it with someone else who could benefit from it. Enjoy the highlights, and I'll see you here next Monday for a brand new episode. Have a great week.
So a typical day for me looks a little bit different than everybody else in my department. My position is specifically, it's half counseling and also half kind of like business development type stuff. So helping the department work a little bit better. Currently, I'm working on revamping their website, those kinds of things. So half of my day I'm meeting with clients, helping with them with different problems with both university and hospital staff, but also external contracted employees that we work with as well too, for various problems. It could be that they lost a close loved one. It could be stress of work. Maybe they're having internal conflicts about, is this really what I want to do with my career? Maybe they want to work on some leadership or professional development. So every day kind of looks a little bit different for me. There is no, every day is the same for me in my position. For example, a lot of my study halls, I went and helped out in the special education classrooms. Would help them with activities, would help them in gym class. And that was like a really special kind of thing for me that was able to that's really where I found that passion for helping others and kind of giving back in those kinds of ways. So those, between the in-classroom stuff and the out-of-classroom stuff, I knew that I wanted to work with people in kind of like a counseling mentorship kind of space. So with that, I went to college for social work, and that kind of fueled that passion a lot. If you would have asked me in high school if I was going to see myself in a half counseling, half business kind of role in the next 10 years, I would have been like, no, absolutely not. The business side of things kind of occurred. I took time between my bachelor's degree and my master's degree to kind of figure out what it is that I wanted to do long term. So I took time to sit down and focus on what my personal mission, vision, and values were and where I wanted to be in the future, and did research and talked to mentors and kind of figure out what that looked like for myself. And that's kind of how I ended up where I am now. So it's funny because I knew during my bachelor's program that I wanted to continue my education. I love learning. I love education. So I knew I wanted to continue my education at that point. I just didn't know exactly what it was I wanted to do. Actually, before I started I'm laughing at myself because I was actually set to go back for my master's in social work. Oh. And like a week before those classes started, I dropped out. I was supposed to go back to the University of Michigan, which is like the top social work program in the nation. And I was like, hold on, I don't know if this is what I want to do. It was kind of like an anxiety attack almost, because I was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do. Like, I love working with people and helping people, but really more passionate about improving the processes within organizations that worked with those people. because I like working with the people, but through my experiences of working in the field, there was more that could be done that would ultimately help improve the lives of clients. And I felt that that was through the actual organizations themselves. So I was going to go back through and get my MBA, but then 3 days before classes, when I was like, oh, what do I want to do with an MBA and what kinds of fields can I go into afterwards? I found organization development, and that really works with the people and the processes of an organization. And I thought it was like a perfect match with my background in social work because it works with people and looks at organization behaviors and those kinds of things. We're all in this journey of life, but we're all on our own paths. So if someone hears my story and they're like, wow, like that's 100% what I want to do, I'm passionate about doing it, I 100% encourage people to talk to mentors, talk to people that are in fields that they are also interested in. I don't think my path, could it be somebody else's path? Absolutely. But I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to that, because my path was totally I want to say like by accident. Like I just happened to just, take the time to look at what I wanted to do and achieve. And so could it be somebody else's? Possibly. But, at one point in time, I was going to go for a psychology degree, my bachelor's degree. So, there's different ways to get to where I am. And everybody's starting differently, and they might start off differently, or they might start off in business, but maybe you're wanting to do more counseling. So I think there's different avenues that you could get there. But just talking to mentors and being guided through those processes, I think is more important than the process itself. People who are observant, but also empathetic. There requires a deep level of empathy and compassion for people and others in this career, especially when you're sitting in a space listening to somebody else who is going through a traumatic experience or who is sad and depressed. They're showing up to an appointment in their pajamas and they're crying in a session. That not everybody can handle that.
Right.
So that requires a deep level of empathy and understanding for others, that not necessarily a lot of people can do. There's so much pressure to jump start into school, and you have to have your career choices right here, right now, as soon as you walk across that stage with that diploma. And while yes, most employers require you to have a bachelor's degree, and that is important to have some kind of degree depending on where you want to do after school, high school, I think it's important to experience as many things as you can experience, and figuring out what your passions and your joys are in a career, and take the electives both in high school and in college. It's better to waste 3 credit hours than to waste 4 years. So just taking different classes that you might be interested in. You might take, a business class, even though you're in social work, and be like, oh, I really like marketing, for example. Or maybe you're in marketing and you take a psychology class and you're like, oh, I really like this. Or, just try the different classes, or maybe it's a social justice class, and just take ones that you might be interested in, because a lot of times transfer over to your degree anyways. So you might as well get the most out of your time. And like I said, it's a lot easier to waste 3 electives, even though you need so many electives anyways to graduate, than to waste 4 years. So just take all the classes that you can and try to get as much experience.
If you liked this Joust About Careers episode, you can explore previous episodes and highlights to learn about even more careers of Van Buren graduates. To be sure you don't miss upcoming episodes, please click subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform so you'll know when the next episode is released. Thank you for spending a portion of your day with us, and we hope you will continue to prepare for your future by learning just about careers.